Oh boy, today we have a very fun video to make, and I'm going to call this the infinite motivation hack, whatever you like to call it. This system right here, I'm going to show you in this video for the next 10 minutes, literally allowed me to go from someone who couldn't sit down at a computer and record a video or do anything. I literally have a video of me ranting at a computer saying how I cannot do anything and I'm procrastinating on everything. So I went from that guy to building a six-figure business at the age of 19. That was a year ago. Right now, I run a coaching business with over 50 agency owners in it. I'm going to show you the system that I teach them that I personally use to build that business. And if you can't stay for 10 minutes to watch this video, I might have no hope in you, because this thing literally changed my life. If you apply it step by step, like I'm going to show you in this video, you're going to work for days on end and have no issue doing it. And the one concept that made everything click in my life was understanding this one study. And you might be asking, why would one study prove your point to having infinite motivation? How can I use it to grow my business or whatever I'm trying to achieve? Listen to me for 1 second, because this literally changed everything in my life once I discovered this study. There was a rat. So a rat was in a tube. It looked like this. It was stuck in a tube, and we had 3 trials in this study. So they had rat in all of the trials. What they did is they placed in one tube a piece of cheese at the end of the tube. And this rat ran towards the piece of cheese. Okay? And they measured how fast did the rat run. And you might see what I'm getting at with this. And in our case, a piece of cheese with a rat represents a goal or something that we desire. And they're trying to say, okay, so we're doing this study in rats. How can this apply to humans? Is it a desire that makes them move forward, or is it something else? Okay, so they tested something else. Now, they put a mouse right here at the beginning of this tube. And this rat is still in this tube. And they went, how fast is it going to run away from a mouse compared to running towards a piece of cheese? So they measured the force at which this rat was running through the tube that it was placed in. Then what they did is they put a piece of cheese with the rat again, and they put the mouse at the beginning of the tube. Okay, and the reason I'm telling you about this is because we have this one scenario where this rat has something that it desires. It could be a successful business in a human case. It could be trying to lose the weight in the human case. Okay, so that's a desire. Then this rat right here has something that's running away from. So it's something we want to avoid at all costs, or we'll die, or something bad's going to happen to us. It's running away from something, okay? In the last scenario, we have something that we want and something that we're running away from. What they found with these first 2 trials right here is that the mouse trial, where the rat was running away from the mouse, this did the best. Okay, so the rat was moving away from something negative faster than running towards something that it wants. I want you to internalize that for a second. Please internalize that. It's running faster away from something it doesn't want from running towards something it wants. And then what they did is they contrasted this, where it had the mouse and it's running away from the mouse, to having a mouse pushing it forward, and also a desire, which is the cheese, pushing it forward even more. What it found is this study right here had the mouse running faster than any other test they've ever done. Okay? How the hell, Joe, does this apply to my business? How the hell does this apply to what I'm doing, trying to achieve things in my life? This means that we cannot only have a goal that we're setting out to achieve. It might be your first 10 grand a month with your business. It might be losing 50 pounds. It might be starting the e-commerce platform. Whatever the hell you're doing, okay? You need something to run away from. And this is the premise of the video. And this rat study proves that we need to define what we are running away from and try to maximize what we are running away from. Okay, so how the hell does this work in our own life, let's say? Okay, so when I was starting out in the agency space, I started my first agency when I was 19 years old, and I tried to build this agency and found myself procrastinating every second, okay? So this is me. And I was chasing things, pushing towards things, and it was this desire of losing weight. It's this desire of making money with the business. It's this desire to do the cold calls for my business and try to make something for myself. I had desires for days. I wanted this, I wanted this, and I wanted that. It didn't get me to take any action whatsoever in my life. This made me procrastinate, delay tasks, do nothing. It really just did not have the effect it should on my life. Having all these desires, you would think I'd be chasing after these things, but my procrastination was getting the best of me. I was doing whatever the hell I was doing to waste my time. As soon as I implemented things to run away from, so pushing me from behind, okay, so I imagine this as like someone's running after something and they're getting pushed to do something, or they also have this person behind them that's also pushing them. And the more things they have to run away from, the more they're getting pushed and the faster they are moving towards their goal. What I did is I stacked the fear behind me of university. Okay, so I dropped out of university and I went, screw this. I want to run this business. I can't run this business. I cannot focus on the business. I have too many things going on and I need to drop out of university. What did dropping out of university do for me? It had this fire under my ass where I had to do something with my life very quickly, or I would be known as a disappointment. I'd be known as this guy that's getting nothing done and cannot do anything. Okay, that was one. What else? Money. 6 months later, after dropping out of university, I quit my job that I was making very good money from. So there goes my education. There goes my source of income until I made what? My business work, which is my primary desire. What else? I told everybody that I would achieve this. There's a pain point right here as well, which means I now have to take action towards this. Do you see what I'm doing here? When you're setting goals or trying to achieve something, like starting that business or doing the actions towards making that thing work, you need to stack more things to avoid than goals to chase. Stop setting out goals as in we're going to have these 5 goals and the more goals I stack on top of each other right here, I'm going to move faster. Don't do that. Simply just don't do that. It will not move you as fast as stacking things to avoid as we saw in that rat study. So what I did in order to progress as fast as I possibly can is utilize that study and what do I want to avoid at all costs? What do I hate with my life? Seriously. Am I going to keep doing what I'm doing right now forever? Or are we going to make a change? So I stacked things to avoid. And I also pulled up an example from my community the other day where one of my clients got his first retainer client. His first post on this, which I thought was really relevant to this video, so it's very timely here. He says, first client on retainer, which is a win, which is great. All I needed was for my job to grind to a halt, leaving me with no source of income and lots of free time. This created enough urgency to get me to do what I needed to do, which was to get good cold calling ABR and hire cold callers. And he just said, I just want to remind all the new people that the only way to fail is to give up. Last few weeks, the bitch voice wanting to give up has been louder forever. The easiest thing would have been to say, F it, I'll just get a job and leave the stress behind. But the bitch voice is kind of a bitch, so I ignored it and kept pushing on. Okay, so how does this prove my point? As soon as he had his safety net removed, as soon as he had something to lose, which is literally paying for his house every single month because his job was stopped, his job went on halt, he had to make something work, which gave him, as we just talked about down below, this example of something moving him faster to avoid than something to desire. So what you need to do to apply this in your own life, like literally today, what you need to do is write down desires. Okay, because I'm not saying here that desires do not move you forward. I'm just saying there's a better solution which makes you move faster, which is pain. What do you not want? Simply. Okay? What do you not want and how can you inflict yourself in so much pain that you actually take action? In this case, it was quitting my job. In this case, it was dropping out of university. In his case of the example I just gave him, it was him getting put on a halt in his job, okay? So I want you to list some things you can do to frickin' motivate you. And this isn't something like, oh, I'm going to set more goals over here and I'm going to set another desire. What can you do to make a change right now that will put you in a position that will actually make it inevitable for you to achieve it? Because I can promise you, when your safety net of all of these things are gone, and you simply need to achieve something. And that's the only thing you want, right? You have to make sure that the thing you want is so important that you'll sacrifice anything to do it. If you actually have the pain tolerance and you want this desire so much, and you will go through any pain in the world to achieve it, list out some things you can do today to give yourself some urgency in your life to take action. Because what we don't have in today's day and age is a lack of information, it's a lack of implementation. I bet there was 10 people talking about starting Amazon when the internet was starting, but there was maybe only one that took action. That was Jeff Bezos. I bet you can probably think of a successful SEO agency or think of a successful paid ads agency. It's pretty easy to think of something. It's not easy to do. So what we're lacking is execution. And you have to ask yourself, if the bottleneck in everything we're doing in today's world, it's execution, how can I make it so inevitable for me to take action that it's unrealistic not to? I have to make this happen. And we simply know this from sales as well. What you do on sales calls is ask the prospect about their current situation for like 30 minutes. You get them to break it down so specifically that they're thinking of all the things in their life that they don't like. And in sales, this motivates them to take action. So how you can think about this is activation energy. What you do is you increase the activation energy and whatever you're doing so high that it's so stupid for you not to take that action. Because you actually will. If you put due dates on things and you tell everybody about it and you don't do that thing that you said you're going to do and everybody in your life knows about it, you're going to be in so much pain that you will actually make that happen. You ever have like a due date in school where you need to get that in by like 12 a.m.? You will stay up all night. You will not go to bed that night because you will stay up working on it for the last few hours until it's due. This is how it goes because we're so afraid of the consequences of this not happening. Stack the pain. Stack more pain than the desires that you want. Ideally, you're going to have one desire and you're going to have all of these things that you don't want to do and you're avoiding. And you're thinking about those things going, I don't want this. Let's put so much pain under me that I have to move forward. I really hope this helped everybody. This has changed everything I do, and I still use this to this day. It's getting rid of the safety net. It's getting rid of anything that's allowed me to be comfortable to not take that risk, to not take that jump, and to work more in my business. Still use this. It's still unbelievably effective. In that rat study with walking away from the cat or running away from the cat in the tube with the rat is the perfect example of that. And you can use this in your own life to take massive action right now. So subscribe and like if you enjoyed. I'll see everybody later. Goodbye.